welcome to the live Q&A. So as usual, we're going to be taking questions from the from the Discord Q&A section. If you're not a member of the VIP Discord, I will be answering some of your questions after we get through these. Of course, these are priority. That's one of the benefits of joining the VIP membership. And there's a link to join if you'd like to get a guaranteed answer to your question in the description. So starting off, we have a question about how to remove negative beliefs about abundance. For example, if I win the lottery, how would I be able to manage so much money? It seems scary and overwhelming for someone who lives paycheck to paycheck. Or another example, having a lot of money leads to a lot of problems. A normal person might not have to experience these problems. So in this scenario, there are different ways you can approach it. You can make it more comfortable by consistently imagining what it's like to have that money. Of course, if you're experiencing the fear, then you're not at a natural point yet. Maybe if it comes very fast, it makes sense that it would not be the most comfortable thing to you. It could seem daunting, finding out the additional responsibilities of, great wealth, generational wealth. Another thing you could do is study the subject. Depending on where you live, if you live in America, you could understand how to set your money up in a trust, different things that can protect you in different events from getting sued or anonymity if you don't want people to know. There are lots of things you can do. So there's physical actions and also the imaginal actions, right? Everything is going to be how you believe it is, right? So currently, there may be the belief that because it's not natural to have that great wealth, you're not sure how it's going to be or how it's going to feel. But you can persist in imagining and let it be how you desire it to be. We're not choosing to imagine just however, whatever it is. You want to take control of that, right? You want to take responsibility and respond to the idea of great wealth, which you may desire, with the feeling, the knowing, the belief that it can be comfortable, that everything you need to know to have the ideal situation with your great wealth will come into place, right? So I like to say affirmations inspired by Dr. Joseph Murphy, like, thank you, infinitely intelligent subconscious mind, for always guiding, blessing, and prospering me in all of my ways. So this is a non-specific affirmation, so it doesn't create resistance. It's not like when you have resistance against wealth in general, saying, I'm a millionaire, and your brain is going, look at the bank account, look at your circumstances, no, you're not. This kind of bypasses that. So that on top of affirmations, saying it in the form of a question, like, how did I get so much wealth? That's another wonderful way to bypass resistance. But the reason I mentioned that affirmation, the first one I said, is because in this situation, you can feel, okay, if infinite intelligence, literally God, the universe, whatever you prefer, is guiding me, blessing me, prospering me in all my ways, there's nothing to fear. Absolutely nothing to fear about having wealth or any other desire in this world. So let's see. This one says, how do I manifest time to manifest? How do I manifest children that leave me alone 20 minutes per day? I'm so busy, I can barely find time alone. I can't do certain things without one of the children around. I'm frustrated, angry, guilty. Is there any conscious manifestation while moving, doing dishes? Not even at night I'm able to do anything because of the little one. I just go to sleep angry and frustrated. Okay. All right, so this is a big deal, right? Especially if you're going to sleep angry and frustrated, as what we feel, what we're thinking feelingly as we fall asleep is creating our tomorrows. So you can pretty much do it all the time. It's not just something that you have to sit down and do, although that can be helpful, having space and time for a meditation. But how would you feel if your children were, easy to handle? How would you feel if they did, take care of themselves enough that you have the time, the space to meditate if that's what you desire to do, right? It's all about the feeling and the beliefs. So no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, even if you can't sit down, close the eyes and visualize, you can make affirmations or carry on an inner conversation with yourself or with a friend, and just imagine telling them, yeah, I have so much free time, I'm so happy, the children are calm, they're doing well, they're healthy, happy, joyous. And in that way, you inspire the feeling within yourself that you have that freedom. Okay, you don't want to feel guilty or frustrated especially as you're falling asleep, because then you're impressing the subconscious. So whatever you can do it consciously anywhere. I'm always repeating things internally, no matter what I'm doing, where I'm going. If I'm driving in the car, I say within myself, God drives this car. All things are under the control of God, which is yourself, right? Or if you prefer the universe, subconscious mind, that's fine as well. But never let your mind go to the idea of an outside God, an outside Christ, an outside power. It's all within you. And as Neville Goddard said, often quoting William Blake, all things by a law divine in one another's being mingle. What that means is there's no separation, there's one mind. So when you're feeling like they're causing trouble, know that you have the power to change that. You can use affirmations like, this is an example in the style that I got from the I Am Discourses, book by Godfrey Ray King, said to be dictated by channeling Saint Germain. Sorry. So it's like this: I am here and I am there, referring to your children. And there I am perfect peace, calmness, joy, something like that, okay? And it's very powerful. And you can use this. I've used this for animals. Like if animals are acting really wild, I have a couple of dogs I end up having to watch for family sometimes over at my house. And so if they're barking a lot, I have to remember to use this, of course, before reacting and getting frustrated. But I'll say, I am here and I am there, meaning in the animal, and there I am. Perfect peace, calmness, silence even, but whatever works for you, okay? You want to feel natural about it. Don't be like mean or anything. They're your children. I'm sure you love them. So just say it's like perfect peace, calmness, joy, and also mix it with that feeling that you have the time to do, be, imagine, whatever you desire. Okay, this person said, what approach should I take to deal with a narcissistic individual? Now, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not going to give any like worldly advice on this. I'm just going to tell you what I know based on what I've studied with Neville and other spiritual masters, teachers on this information. People can only reflect to you what you have going on in your inner world, your inner reality, which is the true reality, capital R. And we're all connected. We're all one. So if there's certain behavior you want out of them, then imagine receiving it and really believe it. You know, you may have to repeat it over and over and over, but they have no choice but to reflect that change. Of course, do it lovingly, okay? I don't know what this person may have done to you or not done to you, but always use this lovingly, right? You have your choice and its risk. You could use the law lovingly, you could use it in a terrible, negative, awful way for destruction, but that's your choice and its risk. It'd be stupid to tell you you can't, because all things are possible to God, which is yourself. All things are possible to one who believes. But I personally can never assist anyone in imagining something that would harm someone, take away from them, anything like that. So just keep that in mind. You never know, it might bounce back at you, okay? There's only self. So if you imagine something negative for someone, even if they seem to be a narcissist, it might bounce back at you, okay? Always do it lovingly, always wish for the best for people. And so in other cases, it's like if you feel like someone's draining your energy, just like completely let go of them. I don't know if it's a family member or someone that you would have trouble, kind of removing from your life. But as you grow spiritually, sometimes people just fall away. You know, as you grow as a creator being, as you grow in vibration, if you prefer that term, you rise up in states and they kind of fall away. They cease to exist in your world. Doesn't mean they like die or anything, but sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to let people go, and that's okay. No hard feelings, no bad blood. Imagine the best for them from a distance, right? Do what's healthy for you. Okay, I'll take a couple questions from on here now. Hi, everyone. Okay. How do I visualize? I just want to feel so free in my visualization to where I don't care if what I want even comes. I want to manifest a specific person even though he doesn't know who I am. So to visualize, it's like a muscle. You'll have to train it. You may not be able to see, perfectly clearly or use all 5 senses in imagination right away, but you just practice here and there. even without imagining your wish fulfilled, you can sit down and imagine yourself like standing outside of your house or sitting in your car, even though physically you're inside sitting on a chair, something like that. And the more you do these things, it's not going to be immediate, but you may end up feeling yourself really to be there. Neville Goddard had experiences where he even appeared to people like hundreds, thousands of miles away and would say something like mystical and then disappear. And they would write him a letter because they didn't have text messages back then. They would write him a letter confirming what he did. So this physical experience is kind of strange in that way. You could even work yourself up to teleportation, it seems. So it depends. It's like a muscle. You got to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And so I recommend you take it like one sense at a time. Of course, meditate first. I have one of my last videos, I talked about great ways to relax. You can use that 5, 10, 15 minutes and then begin visualizing so your mind is focused, not filled with all of the thoughts of the day, of what's going to happen tomorrow, all sorts of things. So when you're focused, begin to take it one sense at a time, okay? Maybe what would you hear in that situation? Then what would you see? And if there's another person, see that person. Then build the background, right? Always begin, actually, I should have said this first, my apologies. Begin by feeling into your imaginal body, okay? So the same way I'm sitting in this chair, I feel my pants, my shirt, my bottom on the chair, my feet on the ground. You wanna feel into your imaginal body at that level, okay? So it can be helpful to like put on your shoes or tie your shoes in imagination so you get a feel for your body. Sometimes maybe putting on the outfit you're going to wear in your scene. Maybe you're wearing something fancy or nice. Depends what you're going to be doing in your scene that implies fulfillment. But take it step by step, imagine your imaginal body, and then go there. What would you hear? What would you see? What would you smell? What would you taste if you taste anything? And just take it step by step and try to become absorbed in it. It may take time as you repeat your scene over and over. That's why I recommend they be short, 5 to 15 seconds tops. They can be longer, but repetition helps, remember, to impress the subconscious mind. So as you repeat and repeat and repeat, you'll find yourself getting absorbed, like you forget about the body on the bed, the same way that in a dream of the night, you completely forget about the body on the bed. Unless you're like lucid dreaming, then you realize that you're doing it and you do whatever you want. I like to fly when that happens every time. I don't know why. And then I'm like, why does no one think it's interesting that I'm flying? And it's probably because all things are equally real. So if it's not really a dream reality, all these physical experiences are dream reality. So maybe I'm in one where flying isn't strange. People are just like, why is this guy doing this right now? But yeah, you want to get absorbed like a dream of the night, forget about the physical body, and do it so much that it inspires the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You can kind of aim your mind at it, aim your mood at what you want to feel, but it's best if you can inspire that feeling to come up through your imaginal practice. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm learning a little bit of Italian, but I can't completely translate what this says. In Italy, they don't teach very well the law of assumption. No one, I don't know, spiega as good as you. Thank you. Grazie mille. How can I manifest meeting my boyfriend's parents and for them to like me? I'm also manifesting marriage with him. Well, you want to go to the end. Neville Goddard made it simple and said if you were married, you would wear a ring on your finger, right? The wedding ring finger. So just imagine yourself all throughout the day wearing a ring on your finger. Play with it in imagination and just think how proud and happy you are to be married to that person. And also to know that their family approves of you and likes you very much. So keep it super simple. You can do it anytime, anywhere, ring on the finger. Okay. How can I let go of the things and the people that are not healthy for me? It depends. I mean, you can like sit down and make a list and say, okay, I want to cut these people out because they're not the best for me. But, don't become judgmental and be like, well, I'm better than these people and that's why I need to cut them out. No, don't be like that because then that's just egotistical. But if you really feel like people are draining your energy or maybe they're doing things that don't resonate with you anymore, not that there's anything that's like inherently good or bad, but if you just don't feel like doing those same things, you don't resonate, you don't vibe with these people, um, you don't even have to say anything. You can kind of just, I guess, make excuses if they reach out to you, or you can just imagine, wow, that person just kind of, fell out of my life, but I hope they're doing well. Always do it lovingly, right? But it's all an assumption, it's all a belief. So you could also say something like, thank you that all that no longer serves me leaves my life easily and effortlessly, something like that. Or thank you that everything in my life serves me, if you want to take it to the positive. Some people say you can't use like the negative, like not in the subconscious. So if you want to do it positively, say, thank you that all people, environments, circumstances in my life, everything in my life serve me to the highest and best. Okay. Are guided meditations bad? I would say it's good to learn how to do it yourself. That's how I got my start in spirituality. And thanks to a long, long process, I got initiated into Kriya Yoga, which is like, it's a process. You can't just like find it online. You have to be initiated. You have to do like years of meditation. And that was my start on the spiritual path. It's in the style of Paramahansa Yogananda, author of Autobiography of a Yogi. Wonderful book if you haven't read it. And so honestly, I think it was practicing Kriya Yoga that allowed me to spiritually reach the level where I could understand Neville Goddard, because I had listened to him before and tried to apply stuff, but I really didn't understand him. I couldn't take him seriously. But after practicing Kriya for a while, it worked out. So I haven't been practicing that lately. I don't think it's necessary to have the life that you want, but learning to meditate is honestly a superpower. It's an amazing thing. And guided meditations aren't inherently bad, but it's good to know what you're doing so you can do it yourself anytime, anywhere. Can I guide you on how to lucid dream? Honestly, it's by chance when I do it. It's random. I'm not a type of person that like seeks that sort of thing. But if I wanted to have one, I would set the intention before sleep. I would say, thank you for the wonderful lucid dream. That was so exciting and fun, and fall asleep feeling that, and then give yourself that ability. There are also things that say throughout the day you should create checks. Like say, for example, you like squeeze your finger or something throughout the day randomly. And when you do this, it's meant to be a trigger so that you make it such a habit, it's subconsciously impressed, and you do it in your dream. And when your hand like phases through your finger because it's a dream, you're gonna realize you're dreaming, and then boom, you're lucid dreaming. But I'm no expert, so best of luck. You're wonderful. Thank you. You too. If you saw some movement and then stagnated, best to create a new visualization and or just persist. I would revise the stagnation. What stagnation? You have what you want. It's done. You can imagine the same thing if you want. It doesn't matter what you imagine because it's done now, right? So whenever you think about it, don't think, oh, things were moving and then it stagnated. No, don't identify with that story at all, okay? I'm going Abdullah on you here, but it is done, right? I don't know what you're talking about with stagnation. How can you say anything about stagnation or movement? It's done. Thank you. Okay. Manifest a job with a specific salary package. What would you experience? What additional responsibility would be yours if you had that job with that salary package? Would you tell friends about it, family about it? What would they say? Would they be happy for you, jealous? These are the things you want to imagine. You want to allow yourself to get into that feeling, right? And inspire that feeling of joy, excitement, or make it natural, right? You're like, okay, I've had this for a while. Maybe I want even more money in my salary. It depends. But make it natural. Figure out what that would feel like for you. And then assume it, right? Never stop. Fall asleep as though you are the person that has that right here, right now. Every night. What's your opinion on the requirements to achieve the state of someone telekinetic? How do you feel that the person in that state looks at others and other objects? Just curious. Honestly, I don't know if I'm the best person to ask for this because I find that I do have limiting beliefs around that. I seem to think that like if I did something as far as like a superpower, as people here would describe it, like telekinesis, say I like lift this pen with my mind, I have a feeling that, the government would come for me and like try and cut me open and study me. Okay. So, like, not to be negative and make anyone feel that way. I'm just saying I'm not the best person to ask for that, because I'm not going to sit down and like undo those beliefs, um, because that it doesn't particularly, attract me, that idea or thought. But if I had to say how that person looks at others and objects, it would just be a deep knowing that everything is energy. It's all just vibrating balls of light, even on a smaller level, if science could perceive it, just consciousness. We've even studied that at the smallest level we can perceive, everything is like 90% nothing. It's like 99% space. So if you could really come to a spiritual awareness of that, not just reading an article or something that says everything's the same thing, everything's energy, everything is made up of space, it's really nothing, it's all an illusion. If you come to a spiritual understanding of that, then you should be able to unlock your potential to do any of these things. But I think Neville was able to teleport based on stories he told, letters he received of people seeing him where he really was not physically. So I think it's just like if you reach a point where you have that knowing, he experienced the promise, right? So he knew by, mystical experience that he was one with God. But if you can cultivate that awareness within yourself, and know that you have dominion over all things, there should be nothing that could stop you from doing it. It doesn't mean you look at people like they're nothing, or you think you're, God over other people, but you're God of your experience. And this world is just as much a dream world as the dream of the night. So it's like you'd be living almost like a lucid dream. I hope that makes sense. Manifest a better job for your dad. I would say the easiest, simplest way would to be to have an inner conversation with him, about this job. It's not that he just got it, but he's been working it for a while, and he can confirm to you, I love this job. This job's amazing. I have such great pay. I love my coworkers. I'm really good at what I do. Hear him just like, express gratitude for every aspect of the job. And if you really love them, like I presume you do, that should inspire within you a feeling of like, wow, that's amazing. And you say, congratulations. And they say, thank you. And you just repeat it over and over as you fall asleep. Do you think it's possible to reduce height? Also, thank you so much. I love your videos. Thank you. I'm happy you like the videos. I believe all things are possible. It really depends on your ability to believe that. There are stories people have written. Not a lot of people show photo proof. I think a lot of people are scared to like show themselves on the internet. So whether you want to believe them or not, but the law says all things are possible to God, or all things are possible to one who believes. So can you believe it? Right now you're asking me, so maybe I might reflect to you doubt, or someone in the world who doesn't believe in this stuff would reflect to you doubt. But as a teacher of this work, as someone who wants you to take the law to its greatest extreme and manifest better than the best you know, all things are possible. That's what it says in the Bible. That's what I follow. So, not that you need to listen to the Bible specifically. I think all scriptures kind of mirror this teaching that we create our reality, no matter the religion. But yeah, all things are possible. So take that to the extreme. Just try and maybe even meditate on that and be like, how would I feel if I really could manifest anything, including reducing height? See what happens. Love Yogananda. Yeah, me too. Some of my favorite morning affirmations. I'm always saying affirmations internally. Not like robotically, but they're just different situations and things where I'll say different things. But some good examples are usually Dr. Joseph Murphy's. I like, by day and by night, I'm being prospered in all my interests, because of course it's non-specific, which means no resistance. I think it's really wonderful. Also, of course, because I have a business, I'm generating sales. I'm always saying things like, thank you that my sales are always increasing. Thank you that my customers are extremely happy. And there's also the one that Neville Goddard shared, which is said to have come from Dr. Robert Millikan, who became like a super multi-millionaire. I have a lavish, steady, dependable income, consistent with integrity and mutual benefit. Speaking of sales, I also took even deeper than my usual sale for everyone watching this until the end of the day. If you want to get the Manifestation Mastery System or the Manifest Anything Workshop, the links are in the description, but it's even deeper discount than usual. I think I took like an additional 20 to 30% off. So if you're interested, now would be a great time because it'll go back up to its regular sale price tomorrow until the end of the month. Thank you. Hey, Brendan, could you speak about how you conquered your fears associated with abundance and money? Yeah, so I talked about it recently in my video about smashing limiting beliefs, but I had been going back and forth with it often because people are always like reflecting you, right? So I had this feeling within me of like, okay, even though I found out that Neville Goddard charged for his sessions, and of course he wrote books and he charged for those, um, everyone like will just reflect a little bit that they know or hear, and they think that he didn't charge anything and things like that. Really, I think he was talking about donations, but because I look up to him so much, it was hard not to feel like maybe I'm doing something wrong by creating these products and selling them. But that's just a belief within myself, and it was being reflected in my world. So personally, that was a big part of it, like not wanting to dishonor one that I would consider my teacher in Neville. But also, you have to know that it's your reality. You're creating your reality. I would hope that you want to make sure you're providing something of value to get that abundance in return. But if you want to just win a ton of money or have someone that wants to take care of you for whatever reason, that's up to you. You have to reach a level within yourself where you're truly satisfied and okay with that. Also, thank you for the donation with this question. But so for me, it was big time about the Neville thing, because a lot of people are always saying that like, you shouldn't use this work for this. Everything should be free. But I mean, time is money, right? If I put my time in, especially all the time I put into my free content, like I'd say I deserve something back. Everyone deserves something for their time if they're making an effort to be better for people or help other people. And that's what I want to do. If you can learn everything you need from my free stuff, great, that's wonderful, because there's no lack, there's no limit. There's always more people who would find it valuable to get my stuff that's paid, and there's no problem with that. So you got to really reach a point where you feel comfortable with whatever way you're making money, whatever thoughts, ideas, beliefs you have about money, you got to feel good about it. Okay, so if there's people in your life that are judging you for how much you make or don't make, you have to not just imagine, good conversations with them where you're already in the end, right? Where you're making as much as you want and they say they're proud of you, or maybe it's at a point where they're even jealous of you. But you have to satisfy that feeling within and know that like no one's above you, no one's below you either, but no one's above you. No one can tell you what you're allowed to make or not make or what you're worth. You decide that for yourself. You create your reality. So whatever it is, I don't know what background you have with this situation, but any beliefs that you have, if you notice anything about, maybe you judge someone driving a certain type of nice car on the street, cut that out. anything where you're judging other people for money or anything abundance related, cut that out entirely, okay? Because you're only judging yourself. There's only self. Everyone is you pushed out. So wherever your beliefs originate, find a satisfying answer, a real satisfying answer. I used to put like a Band-Aid on it, thinking I was satisfied, but no, until recently, until I sat on that plane, that long plane ride where I didn't have Wi-Fi and found the answers within myself, things didn't change. But as soon as I did, amazing. Thanks for the wake up. You're very welcome. Okay, I'm only gonna take a couple more here. So how to manifest something in a general sense, like if you don't know the specifics of the job, which country, salary. That's where it's easiest to kind of decouple the feeling from the thing, right? Oftentimes we get so caught up in imagining a specific thing that we end up looking for it, needing it in order to feel how we want to feel. But if you can really just cultivate a feeling within yourself without needing to visualize or needing to know specifics, then you're operating in like pure trust, which can be more difficult, but it doesn't have to be. If you really have trust, faith, knowing that your belief, your feeling, your state of consciousness is creating your reality, then just get clear on how you would feel. How would you feel in the ideal country, ideal job, ideal salary, whatever it is? You don't have to know specifically what it is, but how do you want to feel? That's one of the biggest questions. It's like you could be sitting bored or sitting feeling bad or any type of way, and ask yourself, how do I want to feel? And it could be about anything. In your case, if it's about a specific job, how do you want to feel about your work? Maybe you want to be proud. Maybe you want to be, someone who's happy to share with people like how you're doing and your salary, things like that. So it's up to you because everyone is different. How do you want to feel about your work? And it doesn't matter specifically what it is. You hear your neighbor snoring at night, you don't remember manifesting that situation in the past. So sometimes we can manifest things coming in a way we didn't realize. Maybe you had a feeling of frustration that you internalized or imagined, and this is the way that it's playing out. But of course, you can change it, right? You can always change it. But I want to dig into that for a second. I think that's a really good question. It's like, how do things come into being when we didn't imagine specifically that? And it comes back to feeling is the secret, right? Like people will say, how do people end up getting like certain illnesses or like new illnesses develop that we've never known? It's a negative example, but I think it's important. It's because it matches the feeling. Maybe it didn't exist before, but there were feelings in people. It could be emotional driven. It could come from, situations, circumstances, but people feel a certain way. And so maybe an illness springs up to match that, but it works the other way as well. You can feel so good that something you didn't even imagine, like visualize or affirm for or anything, comes into your life to fulfill that feeling, right? Feeling is the secret. So even these techniques, I dig into this a lot in the manifestation mastery system, in the detachment mastery video course. It's not really about the techniques. The techniques are there to inspire that feeling within you. You want to reach a point where you can feel how you want to feel without having to do anything. In fact, you end up starting to feel it naturally. It becomes your dwelling place, and that's what becomes reflected in your world. But as far as the neighbor, of course, imagine that you can fall asleep in peace without, noise. You don't want anything bad to happen to them. So maybe you're like imagining someone told you, oh yeah, they moved to a better apartment. They're so happy, they moved somewhere else for better work. Whatever it is that you like, but do it lovingly, okay? Okay. I'm gonna see anything. Someone said scam. If you believe it is, then it is for you, but I promise you, this stuff works. Thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you so much. This guy's getting mad in here. Okay. All right, maybe that's my sign to go, but God bless each and every one of you. I hope that you feel inspired to know your own power, to go deeper within yourself and understand that you have the power to create your reality. You can do, be, or have whatever you want. The only limitation is your belief. Okay, so of course, like I said, priority always goes in answering these questions to the VIP Discord. So if you want to join that, the link should be in the description of this. As I also said, there's like a deeper discount until the end of the day because I did this live event on the Manifestation Mastery System and Manifest Anything workshop, which jam-packed with value. I'm sure you'll get something wonderful out of it. So check those out if you're interested. As always, thank you so much for being here. I love you all very much, and I will see you next time. Take care.